How would you feel if a person online changed your mind, but then you later found out they weren't a person at all? Well, what I'm going to share with you today is not a someday scenario. It's something that actually happened. And in this, nobody gave consent. Nobody knew what was going on. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the AI for Everyone podcast. So let's welcome our host, then subscribe, like, and share.
All right, that's how you support the channel. Love it, love it. What we're going to talk about today is this challenge that happened over on Reddit. This was researchers, credible, credentialed researchers from the University of Zurich. They secretly ran an AI experiment inside of a subreddit. If you're not familiar with Reddit, it's a kind of a big community type website with a lot of great information. It's polarizing for some people, but a lot of people are over there. And in this subreddit, it was Change My View, and it's a subreddit that's really focused on 3.8 million users, mind you, and they're there for respectful debate. So the world absolutely needs more of that right now because we do not have enough respectful debate. So we have this positive thing going on online, and now we have this issue that happened. So for 4 months, AI bots pretended to be people. Now, they didn't just reply randomly. They analyzed users' post histories to infer age, gender, political leanings, even race. Then they crafted very personalized, empathy-driven responses with the intent of changing a person's view. Now, I want to share with you the result because this is very, very mind-blowing. Now, it's not a huge data set by any means, but I mean, it's still very telling. So there were over 1,700 AI-generated comments, 137 deltas. And if you're not familiar on Reddit, a delta is a signal that someone changed their mind. So that means that the persuasion rate was 6 times higher than the average human commenter. So these AI manipulative bots looked at the history, they looked at the gender, they looked at the person, and they were able to persuade them at a 6x rate compared to another human. Now, this really wouldn't be an issue, but the problem was no one knew. Not the users, not the moderators, not even Reddit. They didn't even tell Reddit this was going on. And they only found out because the researchers came forward after the fact and shared their findings. So why is this even a problem? Because look, theoretically, this is great research. This is learning about humans and what makes us change our minds and all of those good things. And this is a very great way in theory to do that. The problem is this isn't just a research study, right? This is a full violation of a basic principle called informed consent. And if you're not familiar with informed consent, and just to give you the very simple definition here on ChatGPT, informed consent is a process by which a person voluntarily agrees to participate in a specific action, such as medical treatments, research study, or data collection. And they need to be fully informed of all the relevant facts. And that's disclosure, that's comprehension, that's the voluntariness of it all, the competence, the agreement. So you have all of these things there that the person needs to be able to opt in or opt out of it. Now, I know it's very tempting because once a person knows or thinks they know, now you might not be getting the best, true, raw, authentic results. But that's just not how we do things to other humans, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side of the table you're on here. Because if you're interacting with AI in a research context, you do deserve to know. And you deserve the choice to either opt in or opt out. Now, again, I think it's a fascinating study. And I understand why you want the raw data, but we can't do that. It's just not ethical. So in this case, the Reddit users, they were turned into test subjects, lab rats, without their knowledge. Now, one user wrote, "We're not toys. You don't get to run experiments on us just because the tech is cool." But yet the researchers defended the study by saying, what do you think they said? High societal importance. We've heard that in movies before. This is for the greater good. We're going to wipe out this city or this place or these people for the greater good, for the greater good. Well, Reddit's response to all this, they're doing formal legal action as they should, because again, this is unethical. As cool as a study like this is, it's just not ethical. This was a mistake. It was a conscious decision to prioritize insight over integrity. And that's the real danger of what we have going on here. Now, in the bigger picture, what I want to point out is this isn't an isolated incident by any means. We now have clear evidence that AI can outperform humans in persuasion. One study found AI won 64% of online arguments compared to humans. I mean, that's crazy, 64%. That's a massive shift in how influence operates online. You thought social media was manipulative. This is very, very powerful, extremely influential, extremely manipulative. And look, we don't have a lot of regulation in America. And I've said it before, I'm not big with a lot of regulation. It's going to fall on us as the users. But unfortunately, we've got only a handful of very powerful companies that are running the show. So I had to go to the European Union AI Act to kind of look at some things that are being regulated overseas. And they already ban AI systems that use, and I quote, subliminal or deceptive techniques that impair a person's ability to make informed decisions. They call this an unacceptable risk. Now, again, that's not hyperbole. That's legislation that they have going on there. But yet, while the governments work to catch up, AI continues to evolve faster and faster than any rules that can be made on the table, which means we, the people across the globe, cannot be waiting on regulation because it's not going to happen. It's going to start with us. This technology is moving at such a pace, government doesn't even know how Wi-Fi works. If you remember the TikTok hearings, can the TikTok hack my Wi-Fi? If you remember that. So the government is not going to protect anybody from any of this. So it starts with us. You need to be getting training, getting educated, understanding what's going on out there, working on your soft skills, your critical thinking skills, all self-awareness, all of those things. It's going to be more critical than it's ever been in history. So how does this impact you? Maybe you're not on Reddit. Maybe you're not even using AI. You don't really think this might apply to you all that much. But if you're in marketing, leadership, sales, policy, you're already in the AI arena, even if you don't realize it yet. Because AI tools are being used every day. I mean, I'm using them for things like A/B testing, right? For different ads, different messages, different things like that. We're rewriting content in other people's voices, or at least inspired by other people. We're creating videos that aren't real, but they look real. We're analyzing behavioral patterns. I mean, I work a lot with emotional intelligence. And, you know, if you're using these in an unethical way, if you have no integrity, then you are really trying to focus on some persuasion strategies that could be a little bit nefarious. And the thing is, this can all be done at scale already. And it already is being done on scale. And it's only going to get more and more powerful as we move forward. And if we don't have some form of a clear ethical standard, we risk turning communication, all communication, into manipulation. Now, some might argue that it already is. But you know what? You can kind of unplug. You can do your own research. You can kind of go down your own path. But when all of a sudden these LLMs all have the same information, the same push, they want people to think a certain way, you're going to be powerless, because you're not going to be able to easily disconnect from that drum beating whatever it is that they want you to do and think. And when you look at this, privacy is absolutely the next casualty. I mean, it already is starting. In a global study backed by the FTC, nearly half of respondents said AI would lead to less privacy. And they're not wrong. We all have smart devices, phones, search histories, voice recordings, facial recognition. When you go places now, AI is gathering all this information, and we are willingly, myself included, giving it a lot of personal information. And it does feel like we're being watched now 24/7 with no on-off switch. Even if you think you're in the safety of your own home, again, this phone, your Alexa, your Google, your Apple devices, like all those different things. I mean, maybe you've turned them off. Maybe you haven't. Maybe it's not really turned off. You got your Ring doorbells and all of those things. So as we become more and more connected, you're going to have glasses soon. You're going to have some more wearables. We have Apple Watches. We got the whole 9 yards here. Privacy is dwindling. But the challenge with all that data is it's being used without our consent. That's really, really at its core what's happening. Or if it's not without our consent, it's just people have been manipulated into not caring anymore. Again, myself included, I give a lot more information out about myself than I would have 10 years ago. You know, I definitely would have not done what I do now 10 years ago. So even my mindset has changed and kind of evolved into this. Now, what does the law say? Again, not a lot of regulation here in the United States. So I had to go again to the European Union AI Act. Now, they categorize AI risk into 3 different levels. Prohibited, and what that means, social scoring, deception, behavioral manipulation, like what happened on Reddit. High risk is education, hiring, medical, policing, and minimal risk are chatbots, AI assistants, and design tools. Well, the problem with that, your minimal risk tools, chatbots, AI assistants, design tools, are being used in education, hiring, medical, and policing. And over time, that's going to turn into social scoring, deception, and behavioral manipulation. So it's going to require some form of human oversight to control this. We need transparency about data sources. We need regulatory sandboxes in order to test AI systems with real users with consent. With consent. That's the foundation that we do have to start pushing for. But that's still not enough because this technology is moving so quickly. It's literally in a full-blown sprint, while regulation and the general population, they're walking. They're walking. They might even be taking a nap on a lot of this. So until everything meets in the middle, it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us to lead responsibly, those that are using it and all of that. Well, then you might be asking, what does ethical AI even look like then? Well, here are a few non-negotiables. Transparency. You have to be transparent. You need to say when AI is involved. If you are creating something that looks so realistic, the voice, the video, we just saw what Google released with VO3, the video, the voice, you need to disclose that. Don't try to trick somebody into thinking that that's a real person or a real thing. You need to tell people that that's an AI-generated piece of content. If you are going to do some testing, you might want to ask for some consent. Don't just assume that you have it from people. Add your voice. AI is just a tool. It's not a substitute for your voice. It should enhance your voice. It should maybe make it better to speak to certain demographics or different people better, but it shouldn't be a complete substitute for human expression. You need to continue to drive the intent here. And educate your team. That's where companies like mine, that we're going to talk about here in a minute, the new launchready.ai, your team needs to know how stuff works. You need to know how this stuff works, and you need to understand where these ethical guidelines are. Training is going to be key over the next couple of years. Now, I try never to publish anything that is AI generated without putting my own spin on it. I don't just copy and paste whatever that I get and just push it out. I take my time to make sure it's in my voice, or it's in my style, or it's an improved version of me. It's not like a completely different, not me at all, right? You want your DNA, your fingerprints, your voice still inside of there. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to sound like everybody else. You're going to be in this homogenized, vanilla, boring, bland, AI optimized, crappy world. And those of us that keep our DNA in it, that keep our voice, our human intent, our human-centered way of using it, are really going to stand out in the crowd. And I want that to be you, because you're special. You have things to bring to the table. And look, this isn't an old school way of thinking. This is good leadership, good ethical leadership. So as we close here, this is what I want you to take away. AI is already more persuasive than humans online. Already is. But it's also being used in ways that violate consent and trust. So keep your eyes open, be self-aware, and understand that this is happening to each and every one of us, and we need to watch for that. Privacy isn't just under threat, it's being actively redefined. The younger generation does not care about privacy the way that the boomers did, and each generation seems to care a little bit less about it. Is privacy still important? I guess that's up for us to decide. And the public, again, most of the public is not aware that this is happening. It's not that they don't care, it's just they don't even realize that it's going on. And I think a big chunk of that is because it's moving so quickly, and we are all busier than we've ever been in our lives. And even at work, and the inflation and the economy, and we're asked to do more with less. Our kids are busier than ever. Our grandkids are busier than ever. So it's very hard to keep up. But this moment in history is defining, and it demands a higher standard from all of us. So, yeah. And I want to make sure that you understand, in this case, what I shared today, the AI did not go rogue. This is not the Terminator, AI is coming to get you, AI is evil. This was a team of credentialed researchers who knew exactly what they were doing. They made a decision, insight over permission. And that's a warning. That's a warning, because if it starts in the lab, it spreads to politics, to marketing, to your everyday life. AI doesn't have ethics. People do, or they don't. Who's driving the intent? And now more than ever, people need to be willing to draw the line. All right, I want to end on a personal note, because on Monday, I am officially launching my new company, a Launch Ready AI. And with everything we just talked about, this story, this moment, I couldn't think of a more important time to say this out loud, because this is not about hype for me. This is not about chasing trends. I'm really not trying to be the next AI ninja guru. This is about staying human. I'm going to build this company with one core belief, and that's this: that AI should help us become more human, not less. Not just smarter, but more trustworthy, more intentional, more connected. I mean, I've already seen how easy it is to lose your way in this space. I've been here 2 years, and I've seen a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that excite me. There's a lot of things that scare me, but there's no stopping it. So we need to be here. We need to be paying attention. So I made this choice. I'm going to lead with values. I'm going to speak plainly. I want to make sure that you understand what's going on, that I get you the training, the understanding that you need. It's more than just news, what tools are coming out, a couple of cool ways to use them. It's how do we integrate this into our lives, but maintain what makes us human. So that's what I'm going to do. If you care about using AI with integrity, if you want to lead with trust instead of just parlor tricks, then you're my kind of people. You're the folks that I want watching and listening to this. And if you made it this far, you are absolutely one of those people. And I'm just looking forward to building something very meaningful with you. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, a lot more content. We're going to be everywhere all the time. I'm going to be covering a lot of things that other people aren't covering. So you're going to want to do that. So that's it for me today. My name is Harrison Painter. This has been the AI for Everything podcast. And until next time, keep creating, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep up. God bless.
Thanks for listening. I'm glad you stayed. One more spark for the plans you've made. If this show hit, go share the vibe. Like, subscribe, let's build this tribe. Been blazing trails, now I'm building new. Launch ready's live, and the work is true. No hype, no bull, no vaporware, just real